So this video is pretty much a day in the life with a couple other extras. I go out and do outreach with the Living and Lived Experience of Homeless Network. I've been homeless myself. And something that not everybody knows is that I was scooped up, grifted as a young teenager on the streets of Calgary by the Calgary Christian Center. And within 9 months, I went through being told, you're the next great Catherine Coleman evangelist, to being told I'm filled with so many demons. They had to start praying for me. And the reasons why for this was they felt like I was led and called to be an evangelist, and I was this young person, and I believed what they said. I believed the message, and I was having all these experiences, gifts of dreams, gifts of knowledge, gifts of discernment, being asked to be part of these prayer meetings with the ministers, the youth minister, the big guy, big minister. That happened like later when I got into trouble, because I figured I'm just going to hit the road. I was still a young teenager. I was going to hit the road, get out there, and just do what was needed to help people who were unhoused. I was just there. And they wanted me to sign contracts, had my mom involved, started getting my mom involved. My mom supported me, by the way. It was just messed up. Very clear that it was more about capitalism than people's souls. And I ended up going back to the streets. And, how shameful is that for them? But, here I am, 64, survived, awesome community. Here's my video. One of the things to note that I want to note is that it was during that time in 1979 at the Calgary Christian Center that I was first offered to go and be on a kibbutz. And it was my first, sort of introduction to Zionism. I didn't know anything. And wow, did I ever want to go to the promised land. I was this young person. And I just had a weird feeling about it. And I had no knowledge of what was going on there, okay? And I have a little regret about not going now. When I hear Wayne's story on Colonial Outcast, I hear his story about how he went to Israel and left through Palestine. That would have been my experience. Would have been very different though, because I'll just leave it at that. But anyways, that was my first, offer to go, and like, wow, think about it now. It's like, it is an occupation. It's not led by spiritual, religious. It's an occupation. They're not even following Judaic law. They're attacking Judaic Jews and socialist Jews. It's like, and I mean, other people must be thinking what I thought, which was like, what a horrible thing. Because this could all fall back on actual Jewish people who are Judaic Jews, socialist Jews. Because it's an occupation, a genocide. Okay, stop. But you know what I'm saying? This is why I'm doing these things. I have like ME, fibromyalgia, environmental illness, fibromyalgia fog, I go through that. I've had like head injuries. The recent one was November 2023. But I'm out here, I'm doing this, I'm not gonna stop till the freaking day I die. We have to stop genocide. So I thought City Hall is as good a place as any to start my little educational moment around bylaw. What is bylaw? What are they doing right now? What's going on with bylaw? So one thing that we need to be really clear about with bylaw is that bylaw are an extension of the police state. Bylaw is an extension of the police state. That's really important. Police also like to co-opt other people's professions, like the fire department. And settler colonies always had a lot of control early on when they set up their police state alongside their fire department, and they would only respond to people who were people they liked. They never went to poor people's communities, and if they did, it was often too late. Does that kind of sound familiar? Some people think bylaw are there just to help with, bylaw infractions. So neighbors who are pissed off at neighbors about something, instead of going to them and talking to them about it, they often just call bylaw. Some people actually go to the neighbors and work it out, do the best they can to work that out. And if they can't work it out, then they will, have to sometimes drop down to have to call bylaw. They may have to lower themselves to call bylaw on someone. So we have born-again evangelicals in from Alberta. That's the rescue band. I just went and checked in with them. Got their license plate. A little disconcerting. This is why we also need to be out here. Activist-based community, people who are anti-poverty, anti-racist, anti-sexist, community-based, want to stop genocide. So of course I asked the guys, two guys, you know, I said who I was and which group we're with, and I do outreach, and I said our group supports stopping genocide. How do you feel about stopping genocide? The younger guys said yes, and the other guy started talking, and I said yes or no answer here, bros. And then he said yes, but I could see there was some hesitancy there. I wonder what that's about. Christian right, maybe? Yeah. So yeah, heads up. Heads up. Remember that Canadian show? The 3D thing? Beware. So in my investigation of the Hope Mission Rescue Van, and enough said about that one, I found out about a fellow named Cliff Power, who's a local Victoria person, supports Zionism, is a Charlie Kirk fan. So Cliff Power started a thing called Extreme Outreach. And here's something from Cliff Power. Extremely sad. Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. You are a hero for standing up for what is right, and you always did it respectfully. A true example of the gospel. Now you can join the heavens and rest in his presence. So that's Cliff Power, and I'm going to put an image of him and his statements here. Trying to get a photo of the Extreme Outreach van. Did some research on the Extreme Outreach, and wow, they sure got funding. We have fundamentalist Christians and Christian right grifting on our unhoused who are being oppressed by the police state, worsening right now under Fiona Wilson. It's human rights abuse after human rights abuse, and the police are moving people along, will not let them even rest in the day. Even if they're packed up with nothing out, they won't let them rest. So here are two of her women cops oppressing the bejesus out of unhoused people's human rights. That's Fiona Wilson, the police chief who helped kill Safe Supply. And, you know, there's one woman cop in Toronto who, dirty shade of blue, has been screaming and yelling out about the sexism going on within the police force. And they had to leave the police force because of being sexually assaulted and so on. So now Fiona, I understand, is like going on about how horrible it is. Yeah, it's been horrible for a long time. It's a sexist, racist, poor bashing police state, and we have to disband it.
It can't be on the street. You know it can't be on the street.
Well, I know, but they don't want to be on the street either. I'm just asking where I can put it logically. This is any of ours,
Nowhere
but
downtown.
nowhere downtown.
Nowhere downtown.
Okay, like where is? Like, I don't want to be like not obeying. Okay. So
Nowhere downtown.
Where is the closest spot you guys would prefer it to be?
Moving. Can't be downtown. Needs to be in a housing facility or something.
But they don't have one. Is there a housing facility with any space?
No.
So there's no housing facility with any space.
Is it your stuff?
No, it is not. But it's.
Okay.
I'll pack it up for someone, but I just want to know where to put it.
We'll pack it up. We'll give them a call. Yeah.
Well, I'm just asking where I can put it to like make sure it's somewhere like safe for someone to have it. It's like it shouldn't be garbage, you know.
We don't have any safekeeping location for stuff that we don't know who it belongs to or anything.
I know, but like, is there a park I can leave it in nearby? Like, I can't leave it on the street. Nowhere downtown. I've only been
in
here.
The parks that stuff can be in. It has to be packed up during the day. So
Totally
now
fair.
is the
Just like,
hours that it has to
may I
be
ask what the
packed up.
nearest one is?
Let me.
I've only been here 2 years. I honestly live in Langford. I don't really know.
You know what? We'd be satisfied if you just start moving it along.
But like
Okay.
along to where? Because I'm going home soon.
It just has to be packed up and moving during the daytime. So at night.
So just actual motion. Like there's nowhere that we could actually just leave it.
No, not during the daytime.
So where? So what, may I ask one more time? What qualifies downtown, if you don't mind me asking?
All the sidewalk streets. It's a bylaw infraction for any of that to be on the sidewalks here.
I understand that, but like, where is downtown? Just so I make sure, like, I can put it somewhere.
All of the streets along here are downtown Victoria.
Okay, but along here, but like, where is Dallas Beach?
It can't be on Dallas Beach. It has to be moving during the daytime.
So it has to be physically in
It
motion?
has to be in motion, yeah.
Okay.
It can't be laid out.
Do you have any idea where like the next legal housing or sorry, legal sheltering park is, just so I understand?
Okay. So you can talk to Bylaw to get that information.
Okay.
Okay.
But
They do that stuff.
okay, it's just this is some shelter. Like I know we don't want more.
Motivation for me, documentar. Canada Power News on.
Ma'am, just for future reference, may I ask you a question? Ma'am? Excuse me? Sorry, just for my future knowledge,
Hey, you know what?
is there any...
We are working.
I've
already dealt with you. We're not engaging with you anymore.
That's fine. I wanted to ask if there's anything I'm doing wrong.
Stop following
I'm going to the
us.
bus for the record.
Okay, then go ahead and go past us. You
I-
need to stop following the police. You don't get to follow the police.
Why is that?
You understand?
I'm asking what laws.
We now consider it a threat when you're following us around the street.
Why is it a threat?
We're working.
I'm observing.
You can't, even if you're observing, you have to be far away from us and you can't just
Okay, well,
follow
to-
us down the
You
street.
can't follow us down the street. You
Okay, well, to be
understand?
fair, this is the way the bus stop
Okay,
is.
then go ahead and go to the bus
I'm
stop.
fine with that, but may I ask
ahead.
what laws
We're
I am
gonna go
breaking
this
by
way.
doing such?
Go that way. Go that way then if you're
May I
going
ask
to
for
the
your
bus
badge
stop.
numbers, please?
Yes, they're
It's
visible
right
on
here.
our uniform.
Okay.
Thank you.
630 and 430. But is there any laws that I am breaking right now?
Follow us and track us through the street, okay?
Why not?
Because we consider it a threat, that's why.
But I asked if I was being threatening. Am I being threatening?
And now we're actually working, so if you need to go to the bus, go to
But
the
I'm
bus.
working too. This is what I do. I'm seriously asking if I'm doing anything wrong. If there's any laws you can tell me I'm doing anything wrong.
Yeah, you can proceed to the bus if that's where you were planning on going to.
Okay, but
You need to
what am I doing wrong? Okay, but I'm just actually asking so I can do better in the future. What are the technicalities or what law, what potentially a criminal code do I look into to make sure I don't fuck with this shit any fucking further?
so that you can do better. You're just following us around right now.
Pardon?
We're trying to do our jobs.
But I'm trying to protect the people on the streets. Thank you very much for your endurance.
So you're here on Pandora, and what happened this morning?
Oh, well, we were targeted again. We were the only ones who had all of our stuff taken again. Woken up by Bylaw, and they yellow ribboned off our place already. And they took everything we had, except for a bag of wet laundry, a few toiletries, wagon, right? They took my scooter. They took all of my clothing. They took our food. They took all of our bedding and our tarps. Our tarps are a big one. I can't believe they took our tarps.
Do you want us to reach out to people who might? So you need a tarp
Or a tent.
or a tent.
Tarps are easier to take down in the
You
morning.
know where people are being pushed to? What are they
Well,
saying? What
they
are
haven't specified that. No, just away from here, which is kind of a funny thing.
What about, why are they now, do you think, not letting you even stay in one spot? They're saying if you're standing still with your stuff, you have to keep moving.
That's just crazy. Yeah.
Have you had that happen to you yet? Because they've told
Oh,
other
yeah,
people
I've
that.
been going around the block all day one day. They came 3 or 4 times. And my stuff was on wheels to begin with.
People, you see people bent over and you think, oh, they're bent over because of the drugs. They're bent over because they're trying to hide from the police. They're trying to do their hits. You know, I see them now sleeping bent over. I see them because they're trying to act like they're still walking, and they get left alone. They can sleep standing up. I've seen them bent over garbage cans pretending to be getting bottles so that they can sleep because they're getting so harassed. So the people with backs are bending over because they're trying to hide their drug use and stuff. It's not because of, it's
There's no place to rest.
social stigma is creating that situation, and police are leading in the social stigmatizing. Did you know Pinky?
I knew him well. He died right outside my tent,
So,
unfortunately.
What
I
was his state like a couple days before? Go ahead.
He was fine just that day. I just talked to him earlier that day, and he was really kind to me before I went for a walk. And
Was he coughing at all? Was there any coughing out of him for maybe a week before?
no, not that I was aware of. Maybe a little bit, but nothing overly.
There's a good
it was
chance.
his heart. He had a heart condition.
Well, but his mouth and his whole area was filled with yellow-green mucus.
Wow.
That's a sign of pneumonia, I believe,
I didn't know that.
or some serious infection.
Right.
I just, my heart goes out to all of you.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
if you can,
We just given him a little tiny treasure chest with a little tiny opal in it just that afternoon, and he had it with him when he passed. But his girlfriend has it now. He had just asked her, "Do you want me to make this into a ring or a necklace for you?"
Thank you for sharing.
Unfortunately, Bylaw took all of her things and Pinky's things, and now that is missing.
I helped around the corner there. Kat was there. Jody happened to come around the corner. We just hung out for an hour. I called Circle for her so she could get some grief support, and it helped.
Yeah, good.
Because I said, this is helping, but you really need someone to just hear you. You need people just get it out and be heard.
Yeah.
And she did seem better after. So, anyways, I highly recommend.
We sit together and she talks.
Good.
Talks about Pinky.
It helps.
We knew Pinky well, and Pinky had told her, Butch and Mara are great to have your back.
Yeah.
Hang out with them.
Okay, I'm going to stop this. And if anybody wants to jump in and talk a little bit about this current police chief here in Victoria, the woman who helped kill the safe supply in BC, the cop who helped bottom line the killing of safe supply in BC, that's the police chief. And she's being real friendly. Oh, she's being so sweet to the unhoused. You would be shocked to hear unhoused who are using drugs, but she's just so nice to them. I mean, it's almost like she's changing her mind, that maybe she's regretting having killed safe supply. I don't remember her name. But, Del Manick was the outgoing failure of a police chief. Still around, hanging out, laughing at the Habit coffee shop about how the cops are coming back because it's $160,000 a year. Woohoo, ha ha, isn't that funny? Ah. Disgusting. So let's go back to Bylaw as an extension of the police state. What is the police state? The police state helps the settler state to divide and rule us. Okay, that's all about divide and rule. That's all you got to know. And everything they do is about propaganda. They're never wrong. Even when they murder people, even when they rape people, even when they do horrible things, they're never wrong. They always get away with it. And the rare times they don't get away with it, it's just so rare. Extension of the police state. And when you see them now being all gross and abusing human rights of Canadian citizens who are unhoused, that's because the police train them to do that. And we're very desperate out here. Police state are displacing unhoused Canadians 3-4 times a day. There's fences and gates up on Pandora. They've been there for months. Why are they even still up? What's going on? It's disgusting is what's going on. The Irish had to start going through gates. The Irish were separated and divided from themselves and each other on their own freaking territory. This is the same thing that's going on right now across Canada for unhoused. They are being divided from us. They're being socially stigmatized by the police. Police are leading in their social stigmatization. And if you're still confused about Zionism, that's confusing to me. Because all you got to do is watch what's going on and see what's going on to know that this is a one-sided situation. Palestinian people can't even defend themselves. White people in America have the right to defend themselves. Why don't Palestinian people have a right to defend themselves? Right? Why don't African people have a right to defend themselves? When the colonists first started going to Africa, what did they do? They had bombs, they had guns, They had weapons that African people didn't have. And when they when they talked about the war, they made it sound like it was so honorable, an honorable war. Us British went into Africa and we fought honorably. No, they never did. That's what we're learning. They never did. It was always disgusting, just like it is now. We need to help free Africa. We need to stop genocide all over this planet. So, and just to clarify, Palestine is going through a genocide, an occupation. It's illegal, it's disgusting, it's wrong, everything about it. I don't think I have to say that, but here we are, and it's still happening. The children, it's hard for me to even speak about it, which is why I haven't done anything about it, because it's just hard for me to find words as someone who's 64 with multiple head injuries who was homeless in Canada. and now doing the outreach that I'm doing now. It's unbelievable. But we must support Palestine. We must fight back against fascism. We must fight back against settlerism. And we must stop genocide in order for humans to keep holding on to their humanity. Like, and I'm actually very worried about Palestine, and I'm very concerned about everything coming back on Jewish people, which is... And my apologies for this being all over the place, but, you know, head injuries. Why am I speaking about what's happening in Palestine, genocide, and bylaw? Why is that? It seems all mixed up. Because I'm all about intersectionality. There's a lot of connections, points of connection between what is going on here in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, which is currently supporting fascist Trump down south, not doing anything to stop it, right in bed with the UK and the US, puppet liberal. Anyways, it's all connected. For me, I had a lot of Jewish socialist women help me when I, was young and trying to learn about what the heck was going on. New sobriety person, and they helped me a lot. Women of color, who that's how they identified at the time. A lot of them were identifying as South Asian, some Chinese, some Japanese. Intersectionality, this is what helped me. Ravita, Matriba, these are women, especially Ravita. I love you all. Think of you all. Michelle, all these other awesome Jewish women who identified as cultural Jew or socialist Jew, were anti-war and helping with, ending imperialism. And a lot of us have had a huge lesson of learning since October 7th. How much were we lied to? So much. Be humble and learn new things. And I'm grateful I survived. And people who were like those awesome Jewish women helped me get through many years. I learned a lot of basics on Anti-Oppression 101. I learned what a socialist Jew was. I'm an anarcho-feminist at this point. Just want to throw that in there. And why do we have to keep an eye on it, do you ask? Well, because of fascism on the rise and the Christian right. And the Christian right doing what they're doing around in Palestine. It's absolutely something that we need to deal with. I have a lot of Jewish people in my life, Jewish socialists, cultural Jews, some Judaic Jews that I've known in my life since the 80s. They've been awesome. I have learned a lot of my activism from Jewish women, and I'm standing behind Jewish people, and I am standing for Palestine. So yeah, Zionism is imperialism. It's not Judaic, it's not Jewish, it's not following any scripture except for maybe some of that Old Testament stuff about smashing your baby's heads on rocks. Yeah, I got some problems with that. Again, I got some problems with the born-again Christians. So yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit protective of my unhoused community as someone who was unhoused as a teenager and vulnerable, and got scooped up by fundamentalist born-again Christians at the Calgary Christian Center back in 1979, and ended up 9 months later walking out to homelessness because it was horrible what happened in that evangelical, born-again, far-right, Christian right, Calgary Christian Center. So I'm a little bit protective, and I see born-again on the guy's hat. They're from Alberta. I want us to keep an eye on this. They're getting 160, and Solid's getting cut. Funding cuts. Solid's having to fight for even having the right to have Dollar Place. The mayor had to help with that. If you go out and listen to people, they just all shit on Dollar Street. Why? Because of the far right and the police and the real estate grift and cops. Anyway, so yeah, cops become bylaw, and bylaw is an extension of the police state. When democracy is under siege by people demanding human rights, land back, Black Lives Matter, suddenly fascism is allowed to rise. That's democracy, so there ain't no democracy. Can you dig it? So yeah, here we are, and I'm gonna just segue. If you go back in my YouTube Thot Victoria, I have a older account with small letters Thot, THAW, second word Victoria. That's the older account, and I do believe that the courthouse tent city years are in that account. But I have compound head injuries, so do go check it out. But I'm mentioning it though because Cockle, the Vic PD cop, Cockle, was very much involved at Courthouse 10 City and pulled a bunch of stuff at Courthouse 10 City, and I was able to pretty much figure out which file he was holding. Cops hold files. It's kind of, I'll get into that later, but Cockle would end up retiring as a cop and becoming a bylaw. To a lot of people's chagrin, because, bad cop, do you ever hear about that term? For educational purposes? Yeah, the good cop, bad cop thing. I mean, there are actually bad cops. Okay, folks, I'm reading a news article. It has sexual abuse in it, so beware, heads up. Victoria Police, former Esquimalt officers hit with sexual abuse lawsuit by Anna McMillan, published December 10, 2021. This story contains graphic details about sexual abuse allegations. Please read with care. The Victoria Police Department and 4 former Esquimalt police officers are being sued for $5.3 million over sexual abuse allegations dating back to the 1980s and 1990s. Scott Connors, Robert Kowick, Samuel Devana, and Kenneth Cockle are named as defendants in the notice of civil claim filed with the BC Supreme Court on November 12th. Vic PD is named because it merged with the Esquimalt Police Department in 2003. The claim details alleged harassment and assault against a woman identified only as Jane Doe, starting in 1989 when she was 17 years old. None of the allegations have been proven or tested in court. The lawsuit says the plaintiff, now 49, became known to the now defunct Esquimalt Police Department in 1989 when she was arrested for theft. Soon after, Constable Connors approached Doe asking if she knew anything about someone possessing drugs. The introduction that led to Doe becoming an informant for Esquimalt Police, the suit says, and I freaking knew that about him. For the next several years, it's alleged Jane Doe was harassed and abused by several officers, including Connors, her handler, as an informant. He made unwelcome sexual comments, and gradually Connors began touching Jane Doe in increasingly invasive ways when he was both on duty and off duty, the suit claims. Between 1992 and 1993, the plaintiff claims another officer, Constable Kowick, solicited oral sex from her while on duty on several occasions. Officers no longer with the Vic PD. Kowick often picked Jane Doe up in his police vehicle and drove her to an isolated area where he required Jane Doe to perform oral sex on him. The notice of claim reads, Jane Doe felt obligated to perform oral sex on Kowick and considered whether it was part of her responsibility to Kowick as a police informant for the Esquimalt Police Department. The lawsuit also alleges abuse at the hands of Constable Kenneth Cockle, detailing myriad allegations, including the claim that he raped Doe in a parking lot in 1992. Jane Doe could not have legally consented to sexual touching by Cockle given the power imbalance, economic dependency, and age disparity between them, the claim says. The plaintiff accuses Constable Samuel Devana, the fourth and final officer named as a defendant, of assaulting her, including one incident in 1992, when he allegedly tried to force her to perform oral sex in a secluded area of a bar. The individual defendants were in a position of trust, power, and authority over Jane Doe. Jane Doe was acutely vulnerable to the betrayal of her trust, the claim reads. Victoria Police confirmed Connors, Cockle, Kowick, and Devana no longer worked for Vic PD. It would be inappropriate to comment on a matter that is before the court's, spokesperson Constable Cam McIntyre said in an email. In addition, the incidents alleged in this claim predate the amalgamation of the Victoria and Esquimalt Police Departments. I'm going to stop there and let you all just go and check out the article. Again, CTV News. Victoria Police former Esquimalt officers hit with sexual abuse lawsuit by Anna McMillan, published December 10, 2021. So as I said before, go check out Thaw Victoria on YouTube. Capital THAW is the first word, Thaw Victoria second word. And the older account has the Courthouse 10 City, lots of stuff from Courthouse 10 City, which Cockle featured in a few times, including when he tried to harass me in my own backyard when I was helping unhoused who were on the boulevard by where I lived. Tried to intimidate me, tried to scare me, and yeah. How gross is that, hey? I'm going to leave a link in the description for a YouTube account where someone helps explain a lot around the Turning Point USA Kirk thing. Please go check it out. That'd be really awesome. And another thing I've been hearing about is it's a really good idea for us to get to know 5 neighbors. Do you already know 5 neighbors around where you live? If not, get to know 5 neighbors. It's really important. That's a basic kind of thing that's really important with where things are heading right now in this world war that we're being told not to talk about, not to think about. We're not even told we're in a world war, and there is a freaking world war. Some are calling it, simplifying it to an expansionist world war, but it's a bit more complicated. But yeah, we're in it, and Canada's supporting it. And the imperialists are saying that Israel is the new imperialist. It's the new way. Can you dig it? No, I can't. We got to stop genocide. Turning Point USA, we have Turning Point Victoria. Yeah, and that's probably in every little city across settler Canada. Yeah, we got to sort of make the connection to the dots, connect the dots, folks. And if I can, and I hope I've maybe I hope I've helped some people in this, post to, question and question what we're being, spoon-fed. And get involved in community, like, just, learn about our rights. That's all good, but we need to take actions to defend the rights of people who are being oppressed horribly on this planet right now. People of color, brown people, black people, people in Africa, Palestine. Like, this is I'm having a hard time again. I'm gonna just born again van grifting our people as the police state are displacing, using bylaws and extension to displace Canadian citizens, oppressing and abusing their human rights. And in comes the evangelical born agains to come and save. But let's just think about this. It's like a make work project for them or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've already figured out that Talking Point, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, all that stuff. If you haven't really, figured it out yet, it's a grift. It's absolutely disgusting to help push people to the right, especially young men and young people, try to push them to the right towards fascism. Very transphobic, very sexist, a lot of problems. And we got this right here on Pandora in Victoria, in the Lekwungen Masonic territory. And why am I putting this all together with the born-again Christian stuff? Well, Christian right, Christian nationalism, imperialism, Zionism, settlerism, colonialism. These are one. The police state is always, unfortunately, going to side with the settler state because they created the police state to defend the settler state's disgusting settlerism, divide and rule. Basically, we have to free Palestine, free Sudan, free Africa. We have to look down here at what is so-called Central America. It's not called that. Venezuela. We got work to do, and this genocide in Palestine has it's like we must save our humanity on this planet. And big kudos to the social revolution that has begun down in the United States, and hopefully it's going to start soon up here in settler Canada.